It finally occurred. It was the right era, and we were about to begin a magnificent journey to a world unknown to us. It was a journey that we planned many years ago. This journey was first presented to us as a hypothetical topic, but our passion allowed us to go through with it. We had planned for a tranquil yet spiritual adventure that would uplift our minds, bodies, and souls. But our plans took a turn. Not for the worst, but a turn for an adventure that none of us were prepared for. Our journey was to climb Mount Everest. The year was 2041, and three great men set off on an adventure. Mr. J.G. Schumacher, Sir Cameron Genio, and myself, M. Frederick Berndorf. We had all become prestigious and powerful men, and in 2039 we began to plan our journey to the unknown. We had planned this journey for many years, and previously we had climbed Mount Denali in Alaska, Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, and many mountains in the Rockies. Finally, after much planning, we flew to Nepal and met with our guide Berlin. He was an experienced climber who had reached the summit 64 times. This was going to be Berlin's final climb to the peak of Everest. We met and discussed. We stayed a week in Nepal and planned our journey. We made sure we got all of our gear and oxygen packed, and on March 1st, 2041, we set off on our journey into the unknown. We started on our way, and without stumbling, we made it to our first camp. We spent a day there waiting for our bodies to acclimate, and we got to know Berlin. Berlin was a legendary man who lived his life in a way that most men only dreamed of. He was 100% man who had the scars to prove it. He told us stories upon stories, and slowly we began to look up to our guide Berlin. The next couple of weeks were very similar. We climbed, camped, acclimated, and listened to Berlin speak. He taught us how simple life was and gave us advice on how to live like him. Every day and with every climb, we learned more about ourselves and each other. This became the norm. The cold and the howling winds became friends. The cold, silent nights became less foreign, and soon we began to enjoy the sounds of our foe, Mount Everest. 6 weeks after our journey began, Berlin told us that tomorrow's climb will bring us to the summit. We were overjoyed, and none of us slept that night. We all talked about the eternal glory that would engulf us after tomorrow. Berlin woke us up right before dawn and said that we had to hurry. He said that a storm was blowing in, and if we wanted to reach the summit, we would have to hurry and climb it very fast. We did just that. We ascended hundreds of feet in little time, but slowly our visibility lessened. None of us were nervous though. We trusted in Berlin. Finally, we saw the summit. We saw what we had been dreaming of for years, and soon, with the wind blowing and the snow falling, all four of us touched the summit. We had reached everlasting glory. We understood a lot more about life. We learned how simple life really was. All of our perceptions of the world had changed. We began to understand one another and understand the life that Berlin had preached to us for weeks. We stayed at the top until we had to descend. We were proud, and we became stronger in every way. We made it to the bottom with our newfound perceptions on life. Berlin had successfully climbed and reached his 65th summit of Mount Everest. We had learned a lot on this adventure. We felt that our whole mindset on life had become simpler. We learned the simplicity of nature and that worldly possessions don't matter. All that matters is how you live your life. Like Berlin, we'd lived ours without regrets. We went on to accomplish many more feats and adventure. We saw places that people only see in their dreams.